Chapter 2: Microorganisms, Friends, and FOAs. Let's revise and recall. An ecosystem is a geographical area where plants, animals, and other organisms interact with each other in a specific environment. Ecosystem consists of biotic and abiotic factors. All living beings require a specific temperature, food, and atmosphere to survive. A cell is the basic building block of the body of all living beings. It is responsible for all the life processes. Depending on the number of cells, present organisms are divided into two categories, unicellular and multicellular. We see several kinds of plants and animals around us. However, there are other living organisms around us and inside our body which we cannot see with eyes alone. We need a microscope to see these organisms. These organisms are called microorganisms or microbes. Types of microorganisms. Microorganisms are classified into 5 major groups. These groups are as follows: bacteria singular, bacterium; fungi singular, fungus; algae singular, algae; protozoa singular, protozoan; viruses singular, viruses. Bacteria. Bacteria are single-celled organisms. They can be found almost anywhere, be it air, water, soil, in the bodies of living organisms, including human beings. These are amongst the simplest and very small living beings. The size of a bacterial cell varies from 0.2 E100 microns. 1 micron equals 1/1000th of a millimeter. They have a cell wall and a cell membrane just like a plant cell, but they lack a well-defined nucleus. The hereditary material is not bound by any membrane but is scattered in the cytoplasm. Nearly 250,000,000,000,000 bacteria are present in 1 gram of soil. Each bacterial cell may exist singly, but sometimes they cling together to form chains or groups. Bacteria are mainly found in 3 different shapes: round, rod-shaped, and spiral-shaped. Round bacteria are known as Kochi singular, coccus. Rod-shaped bacteria are known as bacilli singular, bacillus, and spiral-shaped bacteria are known as spirilla singular, spirillum. All the bacteria have small hair-like structures on the surface of the cell wall. Fungi. Fungi are non-green plants. They do not have chloroplast and cannot make their own food. They are either parasitic, obtaining food from other organisms, or saprophytic, obtaining food from dead or decaying matter. They may be unicellular or multicellular. While yeast is unicellular, bread mold is multicellular. Though fungi are found everywhere, from deserts to very cold regions, they grow best in dark, warm, and moist places. Algae. Algae are simple plant-like organisms that have cell walls and chlorophyll within the cells. They are usually photosynthetic, but they do not have true roots, stems, and leaves. Almost all the algae live in water, be it fresh water, wastewater, or salt water. Some algae are found in snow and some in hot springs. They also grow in moist soil, barks of trees, and rock surfaces. Though most algae are microscopic, some, like seaweeds, are quite large. Algae such as Chlamydomonas and Chlorella are unicellular, whereas others such as kelp are multicellular. Algae may be green, red, or brown, depending on the kind of pigment present in the cell. Protozoa. Protozoa are unicellular. They have animal-like characteristics. They can move from place to place. They capture and eat food. Some live in fresh and salt water, while some live in damp places. Some live in soil, while some are parasitic who live in the bodies of animals, including humans. Some examples of protozoa are Paramecium, amoeba, Giardia, and Entamoeba. Some protozoa are harmful as they cause serious diseases, such as dysentery and malaria, while others are helpful as they eat harmful bacteria and are food for fish and other animals. Viruses. Viruses are smaller than any other cell and much smaller than bacteria. They are so small that they cannot be seen under a light microscope. They can be observed only under an electron microscope, which can magnify an object to more than 2,000,000,000 times. They do not have a cellular structure like other microorganisms. Viruses are peculiar microorganisms as they exist in two states. Outside a cell, they cannot reproduce, grow or use energy or respond to changes, which seem to suggest that they are non-living. In this state, they are called virions. But once they enter a living cell of an organism, they begin to reproduce, just like a living cell, using the energy of the host for the purpose. As thousands of viruses are formed, the host cell dies and bursts. As a result, the new viruses invade other cells. As a large number of host cells die, the host falls ill. As reproduction is a very important characteristic of life, the viruses are therefore considered to be on the borderline of living and non-living. All viruses are parasitic. Microscope. Microorganisms can be seen using an instrument called microscope. There are many types of microscopes, like simple, compound, and electron microscopes. There is a combination of lenses in microscope that magnify the objects of study and produce high-resolution images. The eyepiece is the place where we place our eyes. Magnification is actually done by the objective lenses. Friendly microorganisms. Though people often associate microorganisms with diseases, all of them are not so, and many are very useful to us and the environment. Some bacteria are sources of life-saving antibiotic. Some purify water at sewage treatment plants, while some decompose dead and decaying matter to produce humus, which provides nutrients to plants. Microorganisms are useful to us in the following ways: food and beverage industry, in agriculture, in cleaning the environment, in making medicines and vaccine production of insulin. Certain types of bacteria are used to produce insulin, a hormone which controls the level of sugar in the blood. It is a daily requirement of people suffering from diabetes. Production antibiotics, bacteria and fungi used to make medicines called antibiotics, which kill or stop the growth of disease-causing microorganisms and hence are used to cure diseases. The first life-saving antibiotic, penicillin, was obtained from a fungus called penicillium in 1929 by Alexander Fleming. From then on, it has helped to save millions of lives. Some other common antibiotics obtained from bacteria and fungi are amoxicillin, tetracycline, streptomycin, and erythromycin. Antibiotics are also used to control bacterial diseases in plants and animals. At present, there are about 7,000 known antibiotics and nearly 100 of these are produced commercially by microbial fermentation process. According to an estimate, if the dead tissues were not decomposed, they would have formed a 20 kilometers high heap on the earth. Precautions with antibiotics. Antibiotics should be taken only on the advice of a qualified doctor. One must complete the course prescribed by the doctor. Antibiotics dosage must be taken as prescribed by the doctor, as incorrect dosage may be less effective. Antibiotics must be avoided when not needed, as unnecessarily taking them might kill the beneficial bacteria in the body. Production of vaccines. Human body has an amazing mechanism to protect itself from the dangers of microbes. As soon as it is attacked by microbes, its immunity system begins to produce substances called antibodies, which fight with the invading microbes. Once the antibodies are formed, they remain in the body in an inactive state. If the body is again invaded by the same microbes, the antibodies present in the bloodstream become active and kill them. The body is then said to have developed immunity. Vaccines are developed based on this ability of the body to produce antibodies. A vaccine is a suspension of weakened or dead disease-causing microbes which is administered to prevent disease. Microorganisms are used to make vaccines for diseases such as cholera, typhoid, tuberculosis, hepatitis, measles, polio, chickenpox, and smallpox. Vaccines, when administered in controlled amounts in the body, stimulate the immunity system to produce antibodies but do not cause the disease. Hence, vaccination is also called immunization. Fact: bioleaching is a process in which microorganisms are used to separate metals from mineral deposits. Acidiobacillus ferrooxidans is a bacteria used to extract copper. Some other uses of microorganisms. Some bacteria and protozoa also live in the digestive system of some animals such as cows, sheep, and goats. They help the animals to digest plants and grass by breaking down the cellulose, which the animals cannot do themselves. Bacteria are useful in tobacco, leather, and jute industries. Tanning is done with the help of bacteria. In the jute industry, the jute is submerged in water where the bacterial action separates the fibers from the rest of the tissues. The fibers are then woven into jute cloth. In the villages, animal waste and leafy waste from crops, etc., is decomposed by bacteria in the absence of oxygen to produce methane, one of the main constituents of biogas, which is used as a fuel. Useful bacteria in the human body. A normal healthy person is actually a large colony of bacteria on the skin and inside the body. Certain bacteria also live in the intestines of humans, which help to digest the food and also produce some vitamins needed by the human body. The bacteria present in the digestive tract, Lactobacillus acidophilus, help in digestion, synthesize vitamins, and degrade toxins. Harmful microorganisms. Although microorganisms are extremely useful to human health and the ecosystem, they can also invade humans, animals, and plants to cause diseases. Thus, they are harmful in many ways. Some of the microorganisms cause diseases in human beings, plants, and animals. Such disease-causing microorganisms are called pathogens. Some microorganisms also spoil food, clothing, and leather. Pathogens enter our body through the air we breathe, the water we drink, or the food we eat. They can also get transmitted by direct contact with an infected person or carried through an animal. Microbial diseases that can spread from an infected person to a healthy person through air, water, food, or physical contact are called communicable diseases. Examples of such diseases include cholera, common cold, chickenpox, and tuberculosis. Spread of infectious diseases. Fungal infections. Fungal diseases like ringworm and athlete's foot are caused due to unhygienic living conditions. Airborne infection. Bacteria and viruses which infect the nasal passage, windpipe, and lungs are present in the saliva and mucus. When a person suffering from common cold sneezes, fine droplets of moisture carrying thousands of viruses are spread in the air. The virus may enter the body of a healthy person while breathing. Hence, it is advised that the infected person cover his nose and mouth with a tissue or a handkerchief. Waterborne diseases. Waterborne diseases are the diseases which are spread through contaminated water, which is more prevalent in the areas with poor sanitary conditions. The main cause is the consumption of this contaminated water. It may also be spread by washing vegetables, fruits, and utensils in this water or by washing clothes. Water sources such as rivers, lakes, ponds, streams,
well, reservoirs and rainwater runoff into tanks and cisterns can all be contaminated by the human and animal fecal matter. Dead and decaying animals and plant matter too can contaminate drinking water. Diseases caused by insects and animals. There are some insects and animals which act as carriers of disease-causing microbes. Some such carriers are mosquitoes, houseflies, mites, fleas, ticks, rats, and dogs. Housefly is one such carrier. The flies sit on the garbage and animal excreta. Pathogens stick to their bodies. When these flies sit on uncovered food, they may transfer the pathogens. Whoever eats the contaminated food is likely to get sick, so it is advisable to always keep food covered. Avoid consuming uncovered items of food. Mosquitoes are the carriers of parasites causing malaria, dengue, and yellow fever. All mosquitoes breed in water, hence one should not let water collect anywhere, in coolers, tires, flower pot, etc. By keeping the surroundings clean and dry, we can prevent mosquitoes from breeding. The table given below provides a list of diseases caused by different microorganisms and their modes of transmission. Table 2.1. Some common human diseases caused by microorganisms. Human disease. Causative microorganism. Mode of transmission. Preventive transmission. General. Tuberculosis. Bacteria. Air. Keep the patient in complete isolation. Keep the personal belongings of the patient away from those of the others. Vaccination to be given at suitable age. Cholera. Bacteria. Waters food. Maintain personal hygiene and good sanitary habits. Consume properly cooked food and boiled drinking water. Vaccination. Hepatitis B virus. Water. Drink boiled drinking water. Vaccination. Malaria. Protozoa mosquito. Use mosquito net and repellents. Spray insecticides and control breeding of mosquitoes by not allowing water to collect in the surroundings. Food poison. We generally hear or read in the newspapers about children falling sick after eating midday meals at school or people falling ill after eating at a feast. Even the consumption of leftover food, which is not stored properly, may cause illness. Foods such as meat, chicken, eggs, milk, raw foods, unwashed vegetables, or sometimes even cooked food may contain harmful microorganisms such as bacteria or fungi. These microorganisms, which grow on our food, sometimes produce toxic substances which make the food poisonous. Consumption of such food may lead to a sickness called food poisoning. Food poisoning leads to stomach upset or diarrhea, which can even cause death. So, it is very important that we preserve food to prevent it from being spoiled. Food preservation. Food preservation means to prevent the spoilage of food items by either killing or inhibiting the growth of microorganisms. Some common methods to preserve food in our homes are as follows. Sun drying. This method is used to preserve and store raw vegetables and certain fruits. Drying in the sun reduces moisture contents of the food items. As the microorganisms do not grow in dry conditions, it becomes easy to store dried vegetables such as cauliflower, fenugreek, and mint besides fruits such as mango, apple, and peach. Chemical method. Salts and edible oils are the common chemicals generally used to check the growth of microorganisms. Hence, they are called preservatives. Salt or acid preservatives are added to pickles to prevent the attack of microbes. Sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfite are some common preservatives. These are also used in the jams and squashes to prevent their spoilage. Preservation by common salt. Common salt has been used to preserve meat and fish for ages. Meat and fish are covered with dry salt to check the growth of bacteria. Salting is also used to preserve amla, raw mangoes, tamarind, etc. Preservation by sugar. Jams, jellies, and squashes are preserved by sugar. Sugar reduces the moisture content, which inhibits the growth of bacteria which spoil food. Preservation by oil and vinegar. Use of oil and vinegar prevents spoilage of pickles because bacteria cannot live in such an environment. Vegetables, fruits, fish, and meat are often preserved by this method. Heat and cold treatments. At our homes, we observe our mother or some elder boiling milk before it is stored or used. Boiling kills many microorganisms. Similarly, leftover or excess food is kept in the refrigerator. Low temperature inhibits the growth of microbes. Pasteurized milk can be consumed without boiling as it is free from harmful microbes. The milk is heated to about 700 degrees C for 15 to 30 seconds and then suddenly chilled and stored. By doing so, it prevents the growth of microbes. This process was discovered by French chemist Louis Pasteur. It is called pasteurization. Storage and packing. These days, dry fruits and even vegetables are sold in sealed airtight packets to prevent the attack of microbes. Other chemicals. Some chemicals used to preserve food are sodium benzoate, sorbic acid, sodium and potassium sulfate, and citric acid, as they either inhibit the activity of bacteria or kill disease-causing microorganisms in animals. Several microorganisms not only cause diseases in humans and plants, but also in other animals. Some such diseases caused by microbes are anthrax is an infectious bacterial disease in sheep and cattle, which can also be transmitted to humans through meat, wool, hair, skin, etc. of the affected animals. Foot and mouth disease is a viral disease in sheep, cattle, goats, and deer. Fowl pox is a viral disease in chicken and turkey. Distemper is a viral disease in dogs and cats. Disease-causing microorganisms in plants. Many plants like wheat, rice, potato, sugar cane, orange, apple, and others suffer from diseases which reduce the yield of crops and cause huge losses. Most plant diseases are caused by microorganisms such as fungi, bacteria, and viruses. One of the most destructive diseases of wheat, rye, and other grasses is black stem rust. Wheat and corn rust are also caused by fungi. Crown gall diseases caused by bacteria in many plants results in rough formation of galls on lower stems and the roots. These can be killed by use of certain chemicals which kill the microbes. The table given below shows some such plant diseases caused by microbes. Table 2.2. Some common plant diseases caused by microorganisms. Plant diseases. Microorganism. Mode of transmission. Citrus canker. Bacteria. Air. Rust of wheat. Fungi. Air seed. Yellow vein mosaic of beanic okra. Virus. Insect. Keywords. Scavengers, organisms that eats dead animal or plant body. Microorganisms, tiny organisms which can only be seen under a microscope. Virion virus in their non-living state. Fermentation, the process of breaking down of sugar into alcohol by microbes. Carriers, insects and animals which spread disease-causing microbes. Synopsis. Microorganisms are too small and are not visible to the unaided eye. Figure. They can live in all kinds of environment, ranging from ice-cold climate to hot springs and deserts to marshy lands. Microorganisms are found in air, water, and in the bodies of plants and animals. They may be unicellular or multicellular. Microorganisms include bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and some algae. Viruses, though are different from the above-mentioned living organisms, are considered microbes. Viruses are quite different from other microorganisms. They reproduce only inside the host organism, bacterium, plant, or animal cell. Some microorganisms are useful for commercial production of medicines and alcohol. Some microorganisms decompose the organic waste and dead plants and animals into simple substances and clean up the environment. Protozoans cause serious diseases like dysentery and malaria. Some of the microorganisms grow on our food and cause food poisoning. Some microorganisms reside in the root nodules of leguminous plants. They can fix nitrogen from air into soil and increase the soil fertility. Some bacteria and blue-green algae present in the soil fix nitrogen from the atmosphere and convert into nitrogenous compounds.
Certain bacteria convert compounds of nitrogen present in the soil into nitrogen gas, which is released to the atmosphere.